going on, everybody? Welcome back to Tennessee Tuesdays.
Episode 29.
29, if you keep track in Spanish. Kind of excited because maybe this might finally be growing like we've been talking about and expanding, but hopefully. We don't know yet. We'll find out some details tomorrow, and then maybe the next one will have some details. To be a surprise, but we're excited. Either way,
new things are coming.
Either way, lots of things happening in Tennessee too, so we'll cover all of it, and it'll kind of give us a good spot to like get consecutive and like get some momentum, you know?
It should
definitely, with other stuff too, other content as well. So really excited about that. But yeah, so we found a couple articles, like the title says, Tennessee's paying people to move here, which I don't know. We don't need to pay people to move here. We got plenty of people moving here. Most of them are for the right reason, which is good.
But why is the state paying people to move here?
Well, that's funny that you should ask. So mainly this is an area in Memphis, and there's a few other areas as well. Many workers have left city jobs for private sector jobs in hopes of getting more pay. Okay. Right? So, if you're a firefighter or something in California and you look at what the pay is in Tennessee,
you would definitely not come here to be a fireman.
You'd have sticker shock, basically.
You'd probably stay in California.
Yes. So the higher levels of understaffing have forced city officials to get creative. In Memphis, they saw resignations increased by 40% between 2020 and 2021. The city offers bonuses now of $5,000 and $15,000 to help recruit new police officers and firefighters.
I feel like that's common, though, in the whole state with, like, police officers. I'm not sure about firefighters, but there is a signing bonus you see all the time.
All the time.
For THP. And it keeps growing, the signing bonus does.
What's the one we pass on the way to... when we go through Cookville and Crossville? It's a corrections place, right?
Correction officers. That one's growing too.
Now the pay is almost at $5,000 a month, I think. It was at like $3,000 a month.
And you get a signing bonus.
It's crazy. I mean, this is kind of like you're seeing this across the country, though.
Well, I mean, inflation has gone up, so obviously either you have to raise your pay for people to live.
To match it, because that $15 minimum wage thing sure didn't go over well. So
no.
So they're paying eligible police officers a sign-on bonus of $15,000 and $10,000 in relocation financial aid. The firefighter bonus and relocation payments are only $5,000 and $5,000. So we don't care about firefighters as much, I guess.
That kind of sucks, because I don't feel like $5,000 for relocating is that's not going to help.
That barely covers gas across the country, you know, there and back, like with trailers and everything.
And if you have to pay movers to move you, it's probably going to be more than $5,000. So
it definitely is more than $5,000.
I don't think that's worth it.
So people who accept the deal will have to work with the city for 4 years or pay back part of the money.
There's always stipulations.
Pay back part of the money. So we're going to pay you to move here, but you got to pay us back, or you got to work for us for 4 years. The money comes from the American Rescue Plan Act, which makes it even funnier. Do you know what the American Rescue Plan Act is?
I absolutely don't.
So that's like the $1.7 trillion in COVID relief that they did to kind of stimulate the economy.
Okay.
So that's why it's funny. They gave Memphis $161 million. The city will use $13.5 million over the next 3 years to support the bonus program. Thus far, the extra money has brought 160 firefighters and 180 police officers. So the part I don't understand...
why are we paying it back?
Why don't we give it back?
Yeah.
So if we had COVID stimulus money...
that we didn't utilize?
That was provided for the pandemic and everything else going on... like, why aren't we just giving that back? I mean, I get that you're going to use the money to replace the jobs, which probably left because of COVID and COVID mandates and all that kind of stuff. So I just don't get why we're spending this money to lure people here, which they have to pay back anyways.
Yeah.
or stay with us for 4 years. It just seems ridiculous.
But what happens when you lure these people here and then they don't like it? And then they have to pay it back anyway. So I don't think it's...
And did we mention it's Memphis?
Yeah.
And if you're from Memphis, don't come at me. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So
Memphis is not the best area.
No. So I don't know. So they're paying you to go to Memphis.
That's probably why they're doing this, is because they need people in Memphis. So their only way to get them there is like, hey, we'll pay you to come here.
But the one thing is, you don't have to go to just Memphis, because there are other cities that are paying to relocate you as well, like Chattanooga. The charming town of Chattanooga, Tennessee, is currently looking for computer programmers and other tech workers, and they're willing to pay. The Geek Move program, it's really called that.
Okay.
Currently offers eligible tech professionals a $1,250 reimbursement in relocation expenses and $10,000 cash to go towards a mortgage.
Just mortgage for what? Like, you just get $10,000 for the mortgage?
To go towards your mortgage. And $1,200 to relocate.
Why is this so laughable? $1,200 to relocate is not going to help you relocate.
Well, if it weren't for Russia, like, gas prices would be lower. Like,
yes,
it's
everything
Putin. Putin is doing this
on Russia,
so we would have more money to relocate.
So
and
is
the money would go
Russia also causing the inflation here for everything to rise?
It probably is.
Okay. So it has nothing to do with our president in the United States.
No.
But there is a bird flying around in here.
Nothing to do with all the spending that we've been doing.
It's up in the rafters now.
Oh. Tweedledee.
Hopefully it doesn't fly this way.
So just in case you're not a geek or a nerd and you're into tech, you can go to Johnson City.
One more option, guys.
Johnson City is going to spend $100,000 to attract remote workers to the region. Cash incentives up to $5,000 for applicants to move to the area.
But what is the catch?
So there's 3 organizations that are putting it on: the Northeast Tennessee Regional Economic Partnership, the Northeast Tennessee Tourism Association, and Visit Johnson City. They presented a 24-month request to the city totaling $300,000 that included money for marketing, administration, and perks for applicants who decide to relocate to Johnson City. The $100,000 that the city provides will help fund the marketing push. So there's a lot of money in there for marketing. This sounds like one of those...
Is it all just from... You have to be into the marketing industry to go move there? Like for job offers?
No. So this kind of like... That's interesting, because this sounds kind of like one of those charities where it's like 5 cents of your dollar goes towards the actual charity and $1 billion goes to pay salaries.
Yeah, probably.
So it doesn't get very specific, but it says people earning $50,000 to $60,000 are going to get $2,500 to move to the area. People earning $61,000 to $70,000 would receive $3,500, and people earning $71,000 to $80,000 would receive $5,000.
Why? It should be backwards. It should be the lower you make, the more you receive. The higher you make, the less you receive.
I guess they're just saying because if you make more, you have more talent. You're more of a resource. So they really...
Well, maybe the
really
people that
you.
make less money can't get a job that they're qualified for making more money, since, people have shut down because of inflation and costs are rising.
Maybe. The one thing none of them said as far as relocation is like, what's relocation? So like if we relocate from Knoxville to Johnson City, do you get paid? Like, so if you're outside the city area, that's where there's no like drawing on any of these actually that I could find.
So we could relocate to Memphis, Chattanooga, or Johnson City and still qualify for this?
Well, you could relocate to Memphis on your own. I'll go something else.
Well, I'm not relocating to Memphis in general.
FaceTime or something. Applicants will receive 25% of their incentive upon moving to the area, 25% after living here for 6 months, and the rest after living here for a whole year. So that's not too bad.
And do you have to pay any of this back? Because Memphis, you had to pay it back if you didn't stay for the full years.
To be eligible, applicants must relocate to Johnson City or Washington County within 6 months, be a full-time remote worker, have a minimum annual income of $50,000, be 24 or older, and be committed to reside in the area for 1 year. They must also participate in networking meetings and events and provide feedback about the program to directors.
So you have to do a lot.
There's a lot of rules there. So
I don't
make some
really
money.
like rules and
Make some money. If
stipulations.
you want to move to Tennessee, you can make some money.
Yeah.
So, but so that's it as far as pay goes. Getting paid to move here. There's a lot of opportunities coming this way. I think we're going to talk about one next week, which will be interesting because I'm on the other side of the fence than most people would be probably on this one. But we'll talk about that next week.
And I don't know what this topic's about.
No. Well, I don't know where I think you'll land on the same side as me probably. But did want to mention Tree Day. Tennessee Tree Day is coming up on March 18th. Tree Day, for those of you that don't know, the UT Institute of Agriculture partners up with I forget the name of it.
I'm not 100% sure.
Tennessee Agriculture or some. Either way, there's a company, an organization that provides trees.
And they're all seedlings. They're
little saplings, like little sticks, basically.
They're not very big at all.
Nope. So Tennessee residents will collectively pick up and plant more than 95,000 native tree seedlings in all 95 Tennessee counties during the weekend of March 18th. So we did this.
The first year we lived here.
The first year? So 4 years ago we did it?
We got we didn't get very many. We got maybe 10 trees.
We got a couple elderberry.
And I don't know if our elderberry survived because we put them down in the forest because they are toxic to dogs.
Are they though? I've heard so many things back and forth because now avocado is not bad for dog. There's so many things where people are like, oh, it's bad for dogs. And then you get a new study, like the new food pyramid that says Lucky Charms are more healthy than ground beef.
Either way, we put them in the forest because we weren't sure if they were toxic to dogs. But we do have, some of ours are doing great.
We've got some great poplars that went up. We got a couple oaks that are doing all right. It takes a while, right? And this is a long-term thing, so that's what they kind of promote. It's a generational thing to plant at your property. 50 to 100 years, this tree's going to grow, which is something to go back to, one of our vlogs where we visit the Vietnam Memorial tree.
Oh, yeah.
In the Smokies in Cades Cove. It's so cool. They planted it when Pearl Harbor got bombed, and now that tree is just this awesome tree. So you could pick from different ones like elderberry, dogwood, poplar, oak, pecan, redwood, pine, many others. It all varies by location too. So there are, like they said, there you could pick up in all 95 counties. Plus, I think neighboring state counties, there are a few that you can pick up as well. So you just go online really, and you just shop, and they're like,
we'll drop the link.
Yeah, we'll drop the link for it, but it's $2 for a elderberry and $1.50 for a redwood. You just go down, you kind of shop. I think we spent $60-$70 and we got, a dozen or so trees.
But our trees that we planted on our bluff area down by the street, those ones are doing fantastic.
Yeah.
Those ones have grown really good. Some of our other ones, they're in maybe a little bit more shaded area than they should be. They're doing good, but not as big as some of them.
But it's an awesome thing, and you place your order, and then you show up that day, and they have everything all set aside for you, ready to go, and you pick up your trees, and then you go plant them and go about your way.
So if you've had trees fall down in your yard, this is a perfect time if you want to replant some.
We need to replant some. We've had quite a few trees fall. So it's a cool opportunity. It gives back to the state as well, and it keeps, trees going, which is awesome. Everybody loves trees. It's one of those things, especially when you have a tree close to the house like we do, it provides
tons of shade.
Amazing shade.
For Taylor's room and Mackenzie's room.
It's so awesome. But then when you get storms, it's one of those things where it is kind of nerve-wracking. Could this tree break? Could the branch break? So how close do you want it to the house? Who knows? But it's fun because now you can plant these, especially if you have kids, and it's going to be a generational thing. It's a cool opportunity to share with them.
And just do your research. You have to plant certain trees so far apart because of their, when they grow, their whatever base.
The canopy.
The canopy.
Yep.
You don't want them to grow into each other and be on top of each other. So.
Yeah. I think when we went to the Smokies once, didn't we read a fun fact that said there's more trees in the Smokies than there is in all of Europe?
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised if there was.
Don't hold me to that, but I think that's what we read, which is so cool. There's so many freaking trees, and we need more, which is awesome because it helps It helps for all of those, that fly their private jets to the World Economic Forum summits and tell us not to use gas stoves. Like, this is how we can battle back. We can plant more trees, and we can replace all that carbon dioxide. So
Yes.
we'll do our part.
We'll do our part in planting trees.
Yes. So that is it, y'all. Thank you for being here. Tennessee Tuesdays. You can find us on all the socials, TennesseeTuesday.com. We appreciate y'all. Give us a like, follow, share.
Have a wonderful Tuesday night.
That is it from East Tennessee.